Welcome back. Today we'll be designing one microstrip antenna. This is the antenna design. These are some parameters and dimensions of it. Some equations we'll be discussing while designing it. And this is the response, and the antenna is at 28 gigahertz. The paper can be found on this link, and I'll be sharing this link in the video description. Okay, so let's get into it. So, okay, go to this. I've already created one project and saved it. You can save it because it's a good practice to save while designing, because something might go wrong. So basically I like to start with substrate. Here the substrate is RT Duroid 5880.254 height, and this. So this is for model, and before that I like to enter these dimensions. So let's directly enter those dimensions through HOSS design properties, add. So the first dimension we have WS, L length in mm, and that is 6 mm. Okay, 6. So these are from the paper, these variables, and we need some other dimensions also. For example, the height of substrate, right? These delta and alpha also we need, because we'll be using these while designing the spiral using equations. Okay, yeah, so delta is 130.62, so let me add that. Delta 130.62, and alpha is 0.321. Let me keep it capital, 0.321. Right, the substrate, okay, let H, that is 0.254 mm. Right, okay, these are done. Apart from that, I like to personally add one more variable, rad offset. I'll be explaining this later. Let's say 5 mm. We'll be changing it later if required. Okay. As of now we need these parameters, right? Nothing else, right? So let's start with the substrate here. Right click, properties. I'll give it name substrate, that is RT Duroid 5880. Search it. Here we have it. Okay, let's keep the color and some transparency to it. Let's say this is fine. Yeah, apply it. Okay, coming to dimensions, the substrate has dimensions WS and LS. I like to keep the width along x-axis, so it will be minus WS by 2, and along y-axis I like to keep, so let's keep them as it is. WS, this is LS, and height is H. Okay, apply it. So press Ctrl D so that it fits in the window, or you can click here, fit all. Everything will be inside the window. Okay, I don't want this ruler, so I can hide. Okay, so our substrate is fine, I think. So let's save it, because it's a good habit to save in between. Right, okay, let's go to let's say top patch WF and LF, that is the feeding line. So yeah, take the sheet and design a rectangle. Right click, properties, that is feed line. Okay, so let's change the color. Okay, apply it. Feed line, so WF is the width, LF is the length, so minus WF by 2, 0. We are at height H, so basically this is the position where we want to start, and these are the size, so WF, and this is LF. Nice, it looks nice. Okay, we'll be designing spiral later using equations, so let's just go to the ground plane. Take one sheet, You can design the ground plane differently. What I am thinking to is, first I will design this rectangle here, then one more rectangle here, then subtract two circles of radius r3, then combine these two. Okay, so till here will be done, then only the spiral will be remaining. So yeah, so let's quickly do that. The width is ws, same as the substrate. The height is lg, ground plane, lg for g for ground. Okay, attribute, let me change it to ground plane or ground, simply whatever you want. Choose one color. I like the yellow color for ground. Okay, minus ws, capital minus capital ws by 2, 0, 0. ws, that is lg, and done. Okay, let's design one more rectangle here. I will not change the name because anyway we are going to combine it with the ground plane, so it doesn't matter. Don't change the name and all things. Just look for dimensions. We want it to have the width of ws minus 2 times b, b here and b here, 2 times b, and the height is r3, right? Okay, so it will start on x-axis on origin, on y-axis at lg, and other things, right? On x-axis minus what will be the width? Width will be ws minus 2b, ws minus 2 times b by 2, because it is symmetric about y-axis. It will start on along y at lg and 0. So the width is ws minus 2 times b. Y is r3, right? Okay, it's done. We can simply combine, select this, press Ctrl, select this one, press on this, it will unite. Okay, anyway the properties of the ground plane are already here, the color and all things. Now we need to design two circles here. This is the center. Okay, one circle. From the origin we see it's on the right side, and the center will be at, we see it is at a distance b from one of the edges. So if we go on the right side, we can have ws by 2 minus b, that will be along x, and the y center will be lg plus r3. Go to this, along x we have ws minus b, on y we have lg plus r3, and it is on the ground, so 0 height, radius is r3. Okay, something is wrong here. ws by 2, right? Because the total width is ws by 2. Now, yeah, perfect. We just need to copy this. Just very simple to copy and paste. Ctrl C and Ctrl P. You are done. Just change the center. We can simply put one minus sign and put everything in bracket for x. Y is same, and done. We are done. Select this ground, press Ctrl and hold it. Select this one, go to this, subtract. We want to subtract circle 1 and circle 2 from ground plane. Okay, yeah, it's done. Yeah, but it doesn't look the same as the paper, right? So there is one problem in the table here, that r3 is actually wrong. So we can calculate that because we know other dimensions. Why? Because we know that this, if we cut it half, then this is ws by 2. This width we know, wf by 2. So b plus r3 plus wf by 2, f by 2 is equal to ws by 2. So we already know r3, then why didn't they give us? I don't know. So let's calculate r3. So what we can do, we don't need to again change everything because we had already defined it as a variable. So we can simply enter here ws by 2 minus b minus r3, no, r3 you want to calculate, right, minus wf by 2. This will give us our r3 and it comes out to be 1.5. Previously it was 1.89, so it was a bit more. Now it seems perfect that it is aligning with the wf, right? Yeah, let's just save it. Now we want to design that spiral thing, the logarithmic spiral. There may be some other methods, but the way I am telling you is, I think, a bit simpler, because I'll be adding 2 more coordinate systems, and in reference to those coordinate system I'll be adding equations for the surfaces, the spiral surfaces for top and bottom patches, and it will give us this spiral. These are the equations I figured out and they are working fine. You can have other methods also, but I don't know, like I couldn't find any other method apart from this. It's a bit, you know, time consuming to derive this equation, but it's fine. So let's quickly go to it. First what we need to do is, see here, the spiral, let me zoom a bit. The spiral is at distance a from origin along x-axis and at a distance lf along y. So we need to have center of our new coordinate system at this point, and generally we have equations, these r theta are calculated from the positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, and our spiral is starting at these points. Actually there are 2 spirals if you closely look at the 2 curves or the edges of this surface. First one is this one, second is this one. That's why there are 2 equations corresponding to r1 and r2. Yeah, right. So what I am going to do is, I want to have my x-axis, first of all I want to have my new coordinate centered at this point, then my x-axis along this line, which corresponds to minus x in this design. Why? Because in this global coordinate system, this is the global coordinate system by default system, we have our positive x here, but we want our new coordinate system to have x-axis in this direction that corresponds to minus x of the global coordinate, and we want to have our y in this direction which corresponds to negative of the y we have here, right? So let's quickly add one coordinate system. I am using the latest version. Here you have the shortcut on the draw tool, draw ribbon only, but you can go to modeler, coordinate system, create, relative CS, both, because we want rotation as well as offset, right? So yeah, let's say roughly we have center here, x here, y here. So this is defined, but it is not always, you know, possible to design manually. So let's quickly change it. So here we have relative, right? Name you can change it. I just want to keep it like this. Reference is our global coordinate system. Origin, we want origin. This origin is with respect to the global. So according to global, our origin at distance a from x along x and at a distance lf on y. So we have a, lf, and we are adding spiral on the top edge which is at height h according to global coordinate system. And what are these? According to global system, our x is here, but we want our x to be here, so our x is in the negative of the global, so that is -1. Our y is negative of the global y, that is minus. These are just units. Minus corresponds to the opposite direction. Okay, -1, and we have it. So let me quickly show it. Global, relative, global, relative. Here we see the x is in this direction, and relative to global it is in the negative x. Similar for y. See, right? It is done. Good. Save it. Now click on this equation based surface, and I have already derived those equations. I just need to quickly paste them, copy, paste, Control V, and the y, copy, paste, z is 0, start u is 0 and u is 360, 0, 360, start v is 0 and end v is 1. And one more thing is that we had defined delta with D capital, so let's change it quickly. Delta alpha is fine, alpha, delta, yeah, good. Now this y, this one delta here, capital D, and I think rest is fine. We got this circle, and the problem is with the delta. Here we had defined delta to be in mm, but we don't want that. We want it to be none, of type none, okay, because we are taking it as a number only, no dimension or something. Yeah, so edit it, go to top, none, click OK, apply it. Same with alpha, here edit it, OK, apply it. Right, we have got a curve here. Now we have a curve. Let's quickly merge them, unite them. So done. Let's click on global. Yeah, that is fine. Yeah, looks nice. Okay, now same we have to do with the ground plane, but for ground we have x in this direction, and according to our coordinate system, global coordinate system, it will be like this. So our x will be same as this, but y will be negative y of this global coordinate system. So let's quickly copy this equation, click here, paste. We have got equation 2. We don't want it with respect to global. And one more thing, that here also we had with respect to relative CS. If we click on global, you will get like this only. So let's quickly create one more. I'm going to create it from here. I want it here, x is here, y is here. So let me quickly do it. So our relative or reference CS is global, name is relative 2. Our position is same, but this time negative a LF, and we want it on ground plane, so 0. X-axis is same as the global, 1 0 0. Y-axis is negative of global, 0 minus 1 0. Okay, and now we have got it. Yeah, one more thing, that I am rotating this design without clicking on this rotate and other options of rotate. You can use, if you have mouse, you can click on the wheel button and rotate it. It's just a bit fast and saves some time. Yeah, so back to the design. So we have this equation based surface 2. We just need to change the coordinate system. Click relative CS to apply. We are good to go. Apply, we have done it. So yeah, it looks nice. Select this and this one, unite it. Now it's done. Save it. Now we need to design one port here and in exact plane. Okay, click on it, properties, attribute port. I would like to give it a green shade. Yeah, it looks nice, a bit transparency. Apply it, and its width will be same as the feed line, so minus WF by 2. Along y it is 0 and height is h. No, this is position, so 0. Here Z will be edge and X will be W. Apply. See, because we had selected relative CS2, it has designed with reference to that. So just select this, go to this, select global, apply it, and here we can also select global. Yeah, press Ctrl D, rotate it, central wheel, central mouse button, XY plane, and done. We are done with the design part. Now we need to assign some boundaries. Select this one, press and hold Control, select this one, right click, assign boundary, perfect T, okay, done. Then we need to define port, select this, right click, excitation, along port, 50 ohm, select new line, zoom in a bit, click, done, finish. We are done with the port. We just need to add a radiation box. Click here, select A, or Control A to select everything. Right click, create open region. Radiation boundary and frequency is 28. Okay, so it will create the radiation boundary, and it is vacuum, so you can change it to air. Go to this, search air, click OK, apply, OK, so it's done. So we can quickly check here. First we need to save it. Open region is this, perfect T and excitations, everything is done. And the radiation thing I had told earlier, so here it is. Here we have this these X padding and Y padding calculated according to the frequency, but we can have a manual offset also. So I had created this variable initially, if you remember, radiation offset. Just copy it and paste it to every padding, paste. Okay, why? Because sometimes we want to check what is the effect of this radiation boundary size. So here we can go and change it. It was around 3 point something, so I have kept it this one 5, so it's fine. More than that, so no problem. Quickly save it. Now if we go to simulation and validate, we have everything except the analysis setup. Analysis setup, we can go here at solution setup, advanced, 28 gigahertz we want. Let's say number of passes is 20. Save it. We can save fields also. Let me just do it interpolating, or interpolating is fine for now. Now frequency, let's say our response from the paper is 26 to 30, so let's go from 25 to 32, same as the paper. 25 to 32. We have 7 difference, 25 to 32. We want step size of 0.1, so 70 plus 1, because of it is 71. Let's preview it. We have 25, 25.1, perfect. Save fields is important because we'll be checking radiation patterns also. So save it from here, validate, everything is done. So this error was because no solution setup was created. Just clear it. This one also. Okay, now we can click on analyze all, but I prefer to analyze it from here because sometimes we may have different setups with different settings, so it's better to do it from here. Analyze. You can see the progress. It's refining the port something. From the results we can see solution data also. Here we can see the convergence thing. click on convergence, table is there. I like the plot. We had defined target of 0.02 delta S and it is trying to converge. Here we see the red line converging to green line. Um, it has converged because red line is below green line, so we can close it. We can go to results, rectangular plot. We have sweep, as parameter in dB. Click on new report. Here we have our as parameter being updated in real time. Because it's an interpolating solution, it won't update automatically. We can right click and click update report. It will update it. To get understanding of the bandwidth, click right click marker, add Y marker, take it to -10, and we have bandwidth from 26.39 gigahertz to 30.45, and in the paper we had 26.39 matching and to 30.45 and to 30.37 or 38 here. So pretty much we are getting the same results at 28 gigahertz around. We are getting the peak value, and the levels are around -15 dB at that point. So yeah, it's matching pretty much with the paper. So we have this bandwidth here calculated. We can have our gain, antenna parameters report, rectangular, antenna parameters, peak gain, select sweep, that in dB, click new report. Here is the gain of our antenna. I can add markers, add X marker from 2639 to 2639, or you can right click on it and add it manually. Don't need to drag to that position. 26.39, you can enter it. Okay, to 30.45, right click, add X marker. You can add as many as markers you want on X and Y. 30.45. Here in this paper we had this type of plot where the y-axis had divisions of 1, 2, 3 with spacing of 1. So we can also create there and try to match it visually. So just double click on it, y1 scaling, minimum 0, maximum 6 with spacing of 1, right, apply it. Here we have it, similar, more or less similar to the paper, the gain. So yeah, our results are matching pretty much with the paper. You can save it quickly, and we are done. And we can one thing we can see is the far field report in 3D polar plot. Go to families, select 28 gigahertz, gain total in dB, click on new report. This is the gain at 28, and we can overlay it on the design. So go here, click on field overlays, plot fields, radiation field, visible. Let's increase the transparency to 0.7, scale it to 4 times, apply. Yeah, press Ctrl D. Now we see radiation box, we can hide it. Click on it, this button. Here we see the antenna is radiating mostly from the top side here. Similarly, you can plot other things like electric field, currents, and all things. I'll quickly hide this field here. Visible, apply, close, press Ctrl D, and here we have it. And we can also have different views, isometric view. Okay, zoom out of it, and it looks fine. So yeah, our design is done. If you want to know how I derived those equations of this curve, You can just comment down and let me know if there are enough requests. I'll make a separate video explaining the maths behind this equation based surface. Okay, thank you for watching.